Organizing work schedules, cubicles. I want to share with you the significance of effective organizing in the workplace, how structuring your work schedules, maintaining an orderly cubicle, and managing your resources can greatly enhance your productivity and professionalism. This module on organizing is designed to help you implement systematic approaches to organizing your daily tasks, workstations, and interactions with colleagues. By mastering these organizing skills, you can create a more efficient, stress-free work environment that supports your goals and responsibilities. Organizing workstations and ethics. Organizing your workstation is a systematic process that involves structuring, integrating, and coordinating tasks, goals, and resources to attain your objectives. It begins once the planning phase is complete, even for the smallest tasks. This section emphasizes the importance of creating a clean, organized workspace that reflects your professionalism. A neat desk with minimal clutter and well-organized files not only makes your work more efficient, but also leaves a positive impression on your superiors and peers. Understanding the importance of workstation organization is critical because it saves time, reduces stress, and allows you to focus on your work without unnecessary distractions. A well-organized workspace promotes better time management and a smoother workflow. However, neglecting to organize your workstation can lead to a chaotic environment where disorganization causes delays, confusion, and a lack of focus. Creating daily self-work plans and follow-ups. Daily self-work plans are essential for staying on top of your responsibilities. This section discusses how to create a daily work plan that includes prioritizing tasks, setting achievable goals, and ensuring that follow-ups are scheduled appropriately. A well-thought-out daily plan allows you to manage your time effectively, ensuring that all tasks are completed within the day. The ability to create and follow a daily work plan is essential for achieving your goals and maintaining productivity. By planning your day effectively, you can ensure that your tasks are prioritized and that you remain focused throughout the day. On the other hand, failing to plan your day can result in missed deadlines, unfinished tasks, and a sense of being overwhelmed by your workload. Organizing your cubicle. A tidy cubicle is more than just a clean space. It reflects your work ethic and affects your overall productivity. This section emphasizes the importance of organizing your cubicle to create a pleasant and efficient workspace. By keeping your cubicle neat and well organized, you improve not only your own mood and efficiency, but also the perception of your workspace by colleagues who approach you. Maintaining an organized cubicle is crucial for creating a positive work environment. It helps you stay focused, reduces stress, and makes it easier to find the resources you need. Conversely, a cluttered and disorganized cubicle can lead to frustration, decreased productivity, and a negative perception from others in your workplace. Organizing your workstation PC. Your workstation PC is a vital tool for your daily tasks, and keeping it organized is essential for maintaining efficiency. This section discusses how to organize your PC by minimizing desktop clutter, using folder systems for files, and regularly performing maintenance tasks like disk cleanup and defragmentation. A well-organized PC ensures that your work is done faster and with fewer interruptions. Organizing your PC is important because it enhances your ability to access files quickly, reduces the chances of system slowdowns, and ensures that your work is backed up and secure. A disorganized PC, on the other hand, can lead to wasted time searching for files, slower performance, and an increased risk of data loss or system crashes. Coordinating resources, information, and people. Effective organizing also involves coordinating resources, information, and the people you work with. This section highlights the need to treat resources systematically, focus on the information required for your tasks, and understand the human element in your interactions with colleagues. Successful coordination ensures that you have everything you need to complete your work efficiently and effectively. Understanding the importance of coordinating resources and information is key to avoiding bottlenecks and ensuring that your work progresses smoothly. By managing these elements effectively, you can reduce delays and improve the quality of your work. Failing to coordinate properly can lead to confusion, missed deadlines, and a lack of collaboration within your team. Subconscious behavior patterns in organizing. Your natural tendencies and subconscious behavior patterns play a significant role in how you approach organizing. This section explores patterns such as direction towards or away from goals, attention, self or others, and operational style, options or procedures. Understanding these patterns can help you tailor your organizing strategies to suit your strengths and improve your efficiency. Recognizing these subconscious patterns is important because they influence how effectively you can organize your work and workspace. By becoming aware of your natural inclinations, you can optimize your organizing strategies to better align with your goals. Ignoring these patterns can result in inefficiencies where your approach may not fully support your organizational needs. This module emphasizes the importance of organizing work schedules, cubicles, and resources in the workplace, providing practical strategies to enhance productivity and create a more efficient, stress-free work environment.
I've seen that organizing isn't just about putting things in order. It's about creating an environment where work flows with ease. Could it be easier than we think? In my experience, clutter, whether digital or physical, creates unnecessary stress. A desk filled with half-eaten snacks, scattered papers, and tangled cables isn't just an eyesore. It's a reflection of an overwhelmed mind. But what if a clean, structured space could actually make work feel lighter? A small shift, like tidying up at the end of each day, could make all the difference in starting fresh tomorrow. Is it possible that organization isn't about strict discipline, but about setting up a space that supports focus effortlessly? I have noticed that the way a workspace is set up affects everything, from efficiency to mood. Having a desktop covered with files and folders can make it harder to find what's needed, leading to wasted time and frustration. Could it be that a simple folder system, neatly arranged shortcuts, or even a small digital cleanup could bring a sense of clarity? Sometimes just knowing that everything has a place is enough to reduce the mental weight of unfinished work. If a clean, structured workspace makes it easier to focus, wouldn't it be worth a try? The way each day starts also plays a role. Is it possible that a quick plan in the morning, listing out the key tasks and their priorities, could make the day run more smoothly? I have seen that when tasks are laid out clearly, there's less scrambling and more intentional progress. Separating deep, focused work from lighter tasks, like emails and follow-ups, could create a natural rhythm in the day. Could mornings be reserved for the work that requires the most mental clarity, leaving the afternoons for meetings, discussions, and administrative tasks? Maybe it's not about doing more, but about doing things in the right sequence. Following up with people can be tricky. Is it possible that frequent check-ins create more stress than actual results? I've seen that some people check in so often that it interrupts the very work they are waiting for. What if follow-ups were planned with intention rather than urgency? A simple note, a scheduled reminder, or a well-timed check-in could ensure progress without making others feel pressured. Could giving people space to complete their work lead to better collaboration in the long run? Resources, information, and people. 3 things that shape every workday. I've noticed that when the right tools and information are easily accessible, tasks become effortless. But what happens when things aren't organized? Searching for a missing file, waiting for a password reset, or chasing down an answer from a colleague can drain energy quickly. Could it be that taking a few minutes to set up a reliable system, whether it's a shared folder, an organized inbox, or even a simple checklist, could prevent all that scrambling? What if being organized wasn't about perfection, but about making things easy to find when they're needed? Delegating is another area where things can feel complicated. I've seen that some people hesitate to delegate because they believe they can do it better themselves. But is it possible that letting go of some tasks could free up energy for what truly matters? Maybe it's about trusting the process, choosing the right people for the right tasks, and allowing them to take ownership. Could it be that effective delegation isn't just about handing off work, but about creating a flow where everyone contributes their strengths? If teamwork is about trust, then isn't organizing just another way of setting up that trust to work in our favor? I have seen that starting the day without a clear plan can feel like stepping into a fog. Everything is there, but nothing is quite in focus. Could it be that a simple list, A quick moment of clarity before diving in is the key to a smoother day. It's not about creating rigid schedules or forcing productivity, but about knowing what truly needs attention. I've noticed that when tasks are written down, even roughly, there's an immediate sense of direction. Is it possible that a plan isn't about control, but about freeing the mind from the burden of remembering everything at once? There's something about prioritizing that shifts the entire energy of a workday. I have seen that without it, everything feels equally urgent, and that's exhausting. Could it be that not everything actually needs to be done right away? Some tasks drive progress, while others are just noise. What if the first step each morning was simply deciding what matters most? Could setting just 3 key priorities be enough to create a sense of accomplishment rather than just busyness? Maybe it's not about doing more, but about doing the right things at the right time. I've noticed that deep, focused work and lighter administrative tasks require entirely different kinds of energy. Could it be that structuring the day to match natural energy levels makes everything easier? Mornings, when the mind is fresh, seem perfect for tasks that require creativity or problem solving. Afternoons, when energy starts to dip, could be for meetings, emails, and check ins. I have seen that when people fight their natural rhythms, everything feels harder. But when they work with their energy instead of against it, the same tasks feel lighter. What if organizing a workday was less about forcing productivity and more about flowing with what already works? There's something powerful about having a clear stopping point, too. Is it possible that one of the biggest sources of stress is not knowing when the workday really ends? I have seen that when tasks are left open ended, they follow people home, weighing on their minds even after hours. But what if ending the day with a simple review, marking off what was done and rolling over what wasn't, could create a sense of closure? Could it be that the act of wrapping up is just as important as planning the start? Maybe it's not about getting everything done, but about knowing exactly where to pick up tomorrow. Follow ups are another area where things often go off track. I have seen that without a system, important requests get lost in the noise of emails and conversations. Could it be that a small habit, like setting reminders for when to check in, could make all the difference? What if follow ups were more about rhythm than reaction? Instead of chasing people for updates, could it be easier to schedule a check in at just the right moment? Maybe it's not about pushing for answers, but about setting up a natural flow where progress happens without pressure. And then there's flexibility, because no plan survives exactly as expected. I have seen that the most organized people aren't those who stick rigidly to schedules, but those who adapt with ease. Could it be that the real secret to a successful work plan is allowing space for the unexpected? I mean, maybe it's not about having a perfect to-do list, but about knowing which things truly matter. So when surprises come, and they always do, it's easier to shift without feeling overwhelmed. If the day flows more easily with just a little structure, wouldn't it be worth giving it a try? I've seen that follow-ups can make or break a workflow. Could it be that the real challenge isn't following up, but knowing when and how to do it? Some people check in so often that it interrupts progress, while others wait too long and risk things slipping through the cracks. Is it possible that the key is finding a balance, one that keeps things moving without adding unnecessary pressure? Maybe follow ups aren't about chasing people down, but about creating a natural rhythm where everyone knows what to expect. There's something about clarity that makes follow ups smoother. I have noticed that when expectations are vague, follow ups feel awkward, like walking into a room and not knowing why you're there. Could it be that a simple, well timed reminder is more effective than repeated check ins? What if, instead of asking, "Is this done yet?" the question became, "Is there anything you need to move this forward?" I have seen that shifting from pressure to support makes people more likely to respond positively. Maybe follow ups work best when they feel like collaboration rather than a demand. I've often wondered, do follow ups become frustrating because they're unplanned? Is it possible that setting reminders for check ins could prevent last minute scrambling? I have seen that when follow ups are built into the workflow rather than done reactively, everything runs more smoothly. Could it be as simple as noting down when to follow up before something is forgotten. A small change, like scheduling check ins at logical points rather than chasing updates randomly, might make work feel less chaotic. It's interesting how different people respond to follow ups in different ways. Some prefer quick emails, others need a face to face conversation, and some won't respond until a deadline is staring them in the face. I have seen that understanding how someone works makes follow ups more effective. Could it be that knowing someone's communication style is just as important as the timing? What if, instead of following up the same way with everyone, the approach was adjusted based on what actually gets a response? Maybe follow ups aren't just about persistence, but about understanding how to reach people in a way that works for them. Then there's the issue of patience. I've noticed that the more urgent something feels, the harder it is to wait for a response. But is it possible that giving people time actually speeds things up? I have seen that when people feel constantly pressured, they either push back or rush, leading to mistakes. What if follow ups included breathing room, built in time to allow others to complete their work before being reminded? Maybe it's not about checking in sooner, but about following up at the right moment. At the end of the day, follow ups are about trust. I have seen that when people know they'll be reminded in a structured, respectful way, they're more likely to stay on track. Could it be that a well-organized follow-up system isn't just about getting things done, but about creating a work environment where progress happens naturally? If follow-ups felt more like gentle nudges than constant pressure, wouldn't that make everything easier for everyone? I have seen that the smoothest work days are the ones where everything needed is right at hand, whether it's information, tools, or the right people. Could it be that coordination isn't just about keeping things organized, but about making things easier for everyone involved? I've noticed that when resources are scattered or inaccessible, even simple tasks become frustrating. What if a little effort up front, like setting up shared folders, clear documentation, or easy access to key people, could eliminate all that wasted time? Maybe coordination isn't about doing more, but about removing the barriers that slow things down. Information is a tricky thing. I have seen that people often spend more time looking for what they need than actually using it. Could it be that the real challenge isn't a lack of information, but an overload of unstructured data? When files are hidden in endless email threads, or when different versions of a document create confusion, everything slows down. What if the focus shifted to how information is stored and shared? Maybe a simple system like naming files consistently, centralizing key documents, or even using quick summaries could make all the difference. Is it possible that a well-organized workspace isn't just about physical order, but about making knowledge effortless to retrieve? Then there are people, perhaps the most unpredictable resource of all. I have noticed that some projects stall not because of workload, but because of miscommunication. Could it be that simply knowing who to ask for what would speed things up? I've seen situations where tasks remain unfinished for days because no one knew the right person to provide an answer. What if coordination was less about chasing people and more about creating clarity? Maybe something as simple as a team directory, clearly defined roles, or a habit of quick check-ins could eliminate half the delays in any project. I've also noticed that different people process and respond to information in different ways. Some need details up front, while others prefer short summaries. Could it be that adjusting communication styles makes teamwork easier? I have seen that when information is presented in a way that fits how someone thinks, whether visually, step by step, or big picture, it's received and acted on faster. Maybe it's not about making everyone work the same way, but about creating bridges between different working styles. Is it possible that the secret to better coordination isn't more rules, but more awareness of how people function best? Timing plays a huge role too. I have seen that when people wait until the last minute to share updates, it creates unnecessary stress. But could it be that better coordination isn't about pushing for information, but about predicting when it will be needed? What if a quick status update at regular intervals prevented last minute scrambling? I've noticed that when teams share progress consistently rather than in bursts of urgency, things feel more manageable. Maybe smooth coordination isn't about demanding updates, but about setting up a rhythm where information flows naturally. In the end, I have seen that coordinating resources, information, and people is really about reducing friction. Could it be that work doesn't have to feel like an endless cycle of chasing things down? What if the right systems, the right communication habits, and the right mindset made everything move effortlessly? Maybe good coordination isn't about control, it's about creating an environment where everything just works. Wouldn't that be worth setting up? And I have seen that delegating work can feel like a challenge, even though it's meant to make things easier. Could it be that the hesitation isn't about trusting others, but about letting go of control? I've noticed that people often hold on to tasks simply because they believe they can do it better or faster themselves. But is it possible that holding on to everything is actually slowing things down? What if effective delegation isn't about offloading work, but about creating a system where the right people handle the right tasks? Maybe it's not about doing less, but about allowing more to get done together. There's something about clarity that makes delegation work smoothly. I have seen that when tasks are handed off vaguely, confusion follows. Could it be that the real problem isn't delegation itself, but the lack of clear expectations? When people don't fully understand what's needed, they either hesitate or do something entirely different from what was expected. What if delegating was less about telling and more about setting up success? A quick explanation of the why behind a task, not just the what, might make all the difference. Is it possible that a well-explained task saves more time than checking and correcting later? Timing is another factor. I've noticed that last-minute delegation rarely works well. Could it be that delegation is most effective when planned ahead, rather than used as a quick fix when things pile up? People do their best work when they have the time to process, prepare, and ask questions. What if, instead of passing things off in urgency, tasks were assigned with enough breathing room for quality work? Maybe it's not just about assigning tasks, but about respecting the space needed to do them well. I have also seen that not everyone works the same way, which means delegation isn't one size fits all. Could it be that different people need different kinds of instructions? Some prefer detailed steps, while others work best with a broad goal and freedom to execute. What if delegation was adjusted based on how someone naturally works? I've noticed that when people are given tasks in a way that fits their style, they perform better and feel more ownership. Maybe it's not about just handing off work, but about handing it off in the right way for each person. Trust plays a big role in all of this. I've noticed that when people feel micromanaged, they disengage. Could it be that letting people take full ownership of a task actually makes them more invested? When there's too much oversight, delegation feels like a test instead of an opportunity. What if, instead of checking in constantly, the focus was on setting clear milestones and trusting the process? Maybe delegation works best when it's about empowerment rather than supervision. In the end, I have seen that the best delegation is the kind that frees up time rather than creating more work. Could it be that letting go of the small details is the key to focusing on the bigger picture? What if delegation wasn't about losing control, but about gaining momentum? If the right tasks are in the right hands, wouldn't everything flow more smoothly? Maybe it's not about finding the perfect way to delegate. It's about starting and refining the process along the way.